So today we'll be presenting about cultural management, IBM409, and our group member will be Chun-Hung Lu, Naruthorn, Ting-Chien, and Kavisara. So our country will be Croatia with the Capstone analysis. First is the politicals. About Croatia politicals is a single parliamentary republic located in central of Europe. The capital is Zagreb and also is the biggest city in Croatia. Ms. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović is the current president and also is the first female and youngest president. She established 5 main points in the election promise, which are developing the economic state in Croatia and provide the new job for the citizens. Second, maintain the social stability towards achieving living standard people deserve. And the third is about the national securities and the defense. Fourth is the rule of law and legal stabilities of Croatia. And the last one is the foreign policy and diplomacy for Croatia's reputations. On the other hand, the president is trying to implementation for foreign policies include EU, WTO, NATO, and etc. And the main goal is to increase their economics and maintain good relations with its neighbor. For the Human Freedom Index, the president has also actively established the diplomatic relation with other countries, also provide investment opportunities for future relationships and appropriate release of various restrictions. So next will be the economics. And the economics after independent war in 1991, the basic economic facilities of Croatia are greatly damaged. So in order to reduce or control government spendings, the government tried to find out the solutions to fix this issue. Croatia became the member of EU in 2013, and after that, EU helped Croatia economic recovery starting in 2015. In the context of Croatia's economy, joining EU can maintain economic stability in recent years. So since 2000, Croatia has been the member of WTO, and the main purpose of WTO is to open trade for benefit of all and reducing barriers to international trade and contributing to economic growth and development. And now the governments of Croatia will continue to apply to join the international organizations such as Schengen area, hoping to improve the economies and decrease the cost. This will make Croatia's economics and politically gradually stable. As in socials, 87.8% of the people is Roman Catholics, and they are really into the educations, which education will highly affect their family high status, and the families expect high from their child from being able to be as the same status as they are. So they really are into the educations. As the languages in the Croatians, bilinguals would be the Germans or English. So usually they are able to talk into language which is the Croatian language or Germans or Croatian language with the English. And by that, like, you can easily specify or identify the status of the people. So in technologicals, as Croatian is still developing and Croatian is boosting up in technology advancement really high, and its IT development is also really good, which they are increasing investments from other countries investing them, and they are increasing their innovations within their own country and providing better education within technology, and they're aiming at high standard and high innovation of technology throughout the world, which in globally the world are looking forward to Croatian technology advancement and the information with the communication technologies. And with the European Union, there are many people that is expecting high from the Croatian technologicals. So as we mentioned before, after European Unions helped the Croatian's developments, and the Croatian developments in technological is boosting up really high in percentage in Croatians and EU. And the next one will be the legal system. And for legal in Croatia, for attracting foreign investment in Croatia, Croatian government continues to prioritize for foreign investment. The government guaranteed the equal treatment by law for both foreign and domestic investor. All entrepreneurs have equal legal status according to Article 49 and constitutions, and both foreign and domestic are allowed to establish their own business and engage in all forms of remunerative activities from Croatian business regulations. And however, for the foreign investor, the government placed the restriction on the ownership or control of service for the inland waterways, transport and maritime transport and rail transport and etc. And at the same time, Strategic Investment Act will help investors streamline large projects from the lack of transparency in administrative procedure in operations. Next would be the environmental, and the climate change in Croatia is considered as one significant factor. It's a current issue according to the temperature of country, which is higher than the past. So many groups of tourists tend to avoid to visit Croatia during the summer peak period, which makes the country lose a lot of national income. The unemployment rate is rising along with the decreasing of tourists and the lack of agriculture. Moreover, due to the world's climate change has caused heat waves in Croatia and the long warm period increase in non-native species migration and bacterial growth in foods underwater in the countries, which is so serious increase the Croatian illness, which carries by insects, mosquitoes, birds, and so on. Flooding, drought, and other disaster events are also significantly affect to the citizens' livelihood. In part of the shortage of waters and food, losing personal income and also increase in unemployment layoff as well. Next would be the Croatia investment risks and opportunities. So for the first opportunities would be the Croatia is very famous in part of natural tourist attractions. There is many famous coasts within the country which usually gather a large number of travelers to countries. Therefore, is it an opportunity for the investor to decide to do some investment, especially in part of tourists. And more to business would like to come to investment in Croatia due to the supporting law. The government guaranteed the equal treatment by law for both foreign and domestic investors. Second opportunity of technology is the technology advancement would help them the Croatian development be higher. The development in IT infrastructure it will be better in helping their economic and the education of the people, citizens within Croatia. And yeah, as I said before, implementing in education, which will motivate them to stay within the countries to help their country develop. The other opportunity would be Croatia has joined many international organizations such as EU, WTO, and NATO, and this is a big opportunity that they can help the country to reduce import tariffs and other barriers. Increasing the export is one of Croatia's economic strategies, and also the main driving force behind the country economic recovery. On the other hand, the national market is to international trade, which encourages to contribute to sustainable development, improve people's welfare, and reduce the poverty. Next will be the risks. So Croatia is facing the climate change and the temperature under the country is rising up. The country is very known for wonderful natural tourist attractions and it is one main part of the national income. However, during the season of tourism, which is the summer period, it is time that the temperature rise very high, which it may affect to reduce the number of travelers who will visit the country for natural tourist attraction. More foreigner investor impact domestic investor for attracting foreign investment in Croatia, and Croatian government continues to prioritize for foreign investment. And the next risk would be the overseas educations, which as they are developing or undeveloped, and the people would often seek for a better education, which would be the overseas, and including the job seeking, and they would seek a better job seeking outside the country and the higher demand within the country. So as the demands within the citizens are higher, the country needs to keep up with it or else the citizens as we said before, will try to leave the country to seek for a better education, better job seeking in overseas abroad. So we have interviewed Kun Wisan Nasa and Sankich Chai, Miss Cake, and we have done interview with Miss Cake, who is currently working in a company which is usually deal with people from various countries and culture. So for the background, this is our Miss Cake.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself background?
Okay, so actually my name is Kate. I graduated from Faculty of Education, Chun-Hung Lu University. So I have been working with Changework, which is a training company, for like almost 2 years. So mostly my job description is to coordinate with our trainers and clients. So our client is kind of international clients, such as like Amadeus is the how to say the software for airlines to generate our e-tickets and things like that. And like Chevron, like we have AIS too, yeah, kind of like that. So yeah, that's my background. So I need to communicate with trainer and client to organize all the materials or the place or the staff to help them.
The Miss K started working in the Change of Work international company as an assistant to managing director and office manager. The company is focused on the providing an organization development program to both local and multinational business company. Therefore, the interviewee usually does her work with multinational colleagues and clients. In the company, the interviewee work in is conclude an employee from totally 7 different countries, which is Thailand, Japan, the United States, Dutch, Australia, German, and United Kingdom. Moreover, since Miss K Companies is a company which deal with the training program, so Miss K is more familiar and have much understanding and knowledge to provide a proper information for this interview. So choosing the right person, how does Change of Work company choose their employee? Most of the trainer or employee in the company came from Australia, United Kingdom, United States, and Dutch, and most of them also live in Thailand for almost 20 years, which is fit for the cross-cultural training program because they know already how to adapt themselves into Thai culture or the Asian culture, and also understanding how to work in the international companies. Thus, to work with the Change Work company, most of the staff should understand Thai culture because people that know both culture and adapt themselves before they can show and tell their experience to the other people. So the first important skill for manager skills is to empathy. To let the staff know that you will be here and pleased to help them and support them all the time. And the next skill should be, as a manager, need to know that the level of the staff is. So for example, if the staff just graduate and have some experience, he or she will not know much. So the manager should give the right job for the employee to be suitable with his or her skill and try to develop and train them. And next will be the delegation skill is when you share your separate your work to each employee. So how do you make sure that the work or task that you give to them, they will be able to do as same as you want to be, like the same standard and what you expect from them. So you should delegate the job that's suitable for each person in order for them to do the quality that you are expecting. And next will be the communication skills. It is the skill for either doing business or life. So it's not only conversation, but it's also including the writing skill, the talking skill, and how to show empathy to others, and how you to show honesty to others or your employee. And next, this is the skill that the manager should have in order to work for them on time and perfectly. Next is the long-term goal, and the long-term goal of this company is the company will hire some full-time consultants for doing the work faster, and it will help the work not go only to one person, but they will be shared equally within the company. So how can the culture be changed? And quoted by Miss K, the current culture is totally changed from the past, depends on what people think. So Miss K explained that the culture can be changed wherever it is. So when compared between the culture and the people have done in the past 10 years, and the current culture that people are doing in the period, it's totally different. So globalization narrowed the world. There are so many technologies, especially the internet, which makes people be able to communicate and exchange their culture easier than what the globe is in the past few decades. And the exchange of the culture in and out make the culture in one place be changed along with the time as the time passed it. So how do you adapt to the culture? So Miss K quoted that be open-minded and try to communicate with others is a key to adapt themselves to an unfamiliar culture. So as Miss K's perspective, to adapt oneself to an unfamiliar culture surrounding, they should be open-minded and they look to what people do in the society and the country and understand the culture practice. And moreover, the communication is another important key to have an easier way to adapt themselves. So with that particular culture, however, the word adapt is not to force them to change their mind thinking system, but their behavior to be the same way as what they are culture usually be. It is better to understand the concept of that culture so they will be able to feel more familiar with it than just living in the new culture with only one perspective. And the next is the cultural diversity. So how do you eliminate the cultural diversity within the workplace? As quoted by Miss Cake, and she's mentioned that main cultural diversity problem is communication, and not just between Thai people and foreigner. It is all about Thai people and all foreigner. So cultural diversity is the main problem is the communication. And the people, according to different culture and the personality, some of the staff would like to tell the details, but some are not. So it's hard to get those people who have same personalities. And in another hand, the best way to eliminate the problem is to open mind and also need a good attitude to improve their skills. So you need to communicate to each other and be directly straightforward to each other in order to not misunderstand each people. And cultural diversity, many people are differences, and since they are come from different countries, so you need to be understanding their culture in order to be able to work together. So what type of problem do you face regularly when teaching about culture in the workplace? And the example that Ms. K gave us is that there have many employees that come from different countries in their companies, such as the Japanese, and some of them are European. And the biggest problem between Asia and Europe is the culture. Ms. K gave us an example that customer service will greet to the customer first, such as hello or how are you. But one of the customers from Australia replied to the staff that I don't know you, why you say how are you to me? And this is a big problem when teaching culture to the people who come from different countries. So as Ms. K quoted that you have to find the balance between the cultural diversity. You don't have to care about others' opinion too much because that will hurt yourself. So next is the advice or suggestion that you would give people who are interested to go work or train in different culture. And she suggests that would be a success, and You need to be an open mind and be yourself. If you cross the line, you can apologize and say sorry with the real feelings. And also, don't be shy. You can talk and share experience to others, and that is the main point for both Thai people and foreigner. So how do you train your foreigner to understanding and adapt themselves in work in Thailand? So actually, as Ms. Kek mentions, that there's no training for the foreigner worker in Thailand, since they only require the professionals that they are already understand the culture of Thailand and know the culture of the Thailand to be in order to help the companies or the people that are needed.
So what are the challenges that you have experienced working with different cultures?
So I think the challenges for me is to how to say communicate, not just only language, but it's like how to show your empathy with people from different culture. Because when you work with Thai people, they're kind of really nice. They kind of really soft style of communication. But when you talk to Dutch or the other from Australia, they're really direct. So that's the challenges that I face. So sometimes that my staff don't understand what trainer like means, or they kind of feel intimidated by those conversations. So I think this is the most challenge things that I face.
So as we mentioned, what is the challenge that you have experienced in working in different culture? Ms. Kik say that the communication is the biggest problem, since their employees and or the trainers are from Americans, British, Dutch, German, and Australia. And Ms. K gave an example that as Thai people, usually they talk really soft and they are easily misunderstood from the foreigner, which is something like Dutch, British, Germans, because they talk really straightforward, and it would be a misunderstanding for a Thai employee with the trainer, since they are not really understanding if the trainer is being mean to them or they are being nice to them. So by making them understanding the cultural difference, it will be helping them to understand, oh, okay, British and Dutch or German people just talk straightforward. They have no means. They are nice, but they're just be straightforward. So by letting them know the cultural difference would allow them to minimize the misunderstanding between each other. So what is the strategy in dealing the cultural diversity in companies? Ms. Cake say that the first main thing would be the honesty. You need to show empathy. So you need to be straightforward. You need to respect each other, and the most important part is put yourself in their shoes. So which this means is that you need to stand in their perspective and not only your perspective. So in order to be in their perspective, you will understand and know what is going on, and you'll be able to help them easily.
Do you think that cultural diversity benefits your organization more?
Yeah, I think that cultural diversity like have a benefit for my organization because it's made the organization lively. You need to, in order to overcome all the obstacles about communication, you need to be honest with each other. You need to be direct. You need to be open-minded, because other than that, you cannot overcome. It's quite hard to compromise and want to be direct at the same time. So I think it's kind of make the company be more international. So you study in the international university, you know that it's very different from Thai organization and international organization. From my perspective, I do like international organization much more. I used to work in high school before, and it's people kind of hesitate to talk, kind of hesitate to show their comments, to raise your hands. But when you close the door after the meeting, people will talk a lot. But in the international communication or organization, you need to be honest with each other. When you close the door of the meeting, it just that's a word.
So basically, the question is about the cultural diversity benefits in organization and why. As Ms. Kik mentioned that it will help the company to be more lively and it will be more international and the communication between the staff and the trainer or between each other will be improved and it will be overcome to cultural diversity, which is that you'll be more understanding between each other, you'll be overcome many obstacles that is gonna happen. And with this, the benefit of organization is that they will be internationally and it will be global, and with this they could help people that are in needs and to provide them the knowledge and the understanding between Thais and the foreigners. So when people from foreigners come to Thai, they don't understand something or they are not getting adapt or getting fit within the culture of Thailand. This is how the trainers or the cross culture program will help to allow them to adapt within Thai culture or the others' culture. So last but not least, what we learned. So what actually we learned in this class or this report is about the cultural diversity. We understand what is cultural diversity and how cultural diversity and the cultural program impact within the companies and the importance of the cultural program within nowadays. Since nowadays we are going much international, many people are traveling overseas, working, finding job, and traveling different countries. And with the situations and consequences may occur. So with cross-cultural program, it could allow to minimize the problem of misunderstanding and the cultural diversity that could happen within the companies. And this would be benefits for the employee or also benefit for the companies in both way, as the benefit for employee that they will be adapted within the culture better and understanding each other, and as the company they will minimize the problem that would be occurred, such as the miscommunication, misunderstanding, and the turnover of staff. So with this cross-cultural program, it allows the people around the world to come together and work together as a team and understand between each other culture. Thank you.